Worldwide, uncut, unfiltered, and uncensored. It's the Radio Random Network.
Our guest on the Radio Random Network today is none other than indie queen, Miss Tracey Birdsall. Miss Tracey, how are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on here with the, you have some new films coming out, Dawn of the Crescent Moon, and Do You Like Your Balls?
Exactly. Most people answer that question like it's not a title, which is kind of funny. Yeah, they're coming out on the same night. They're coming out August 23rd at the Ashland Film Festival, and one's right after the other, which is amazing, so I can get everybody there at the same time. And they're extremely different genres. One of them's a very, very quirky comedy, and the other one is a kind of a teen horror classic. It's going to be a classic.
Take us back a little bit. When did you decide to start the film industry?
It kind of started as a kid, because as a kid I went, of course, I grew up in Burbank, so I took dance lessons and everything else, and then I got into theater as I got older. But the first time that I worked professionally was at 15, so I did a union commercial that ran for years, and that was the first time that I worked professionally. And then it just kind of just kept going from there. I actually wanted to go into robotics or something, but I always had the acting bug, and I never could get rid of the bug.
You are the face of Stamps.com. Now, how did that come about?
I am. Well, there was a casting call, and when I went to that call, it was kind of easy because I'd already been a Stamps.com customer for a while. So I knew a lot about the product when I was talking to them, and so I got hired on in that. But what's funny is I also do a lot of the print work. I'm actually kind of like a postal service spokesperson, and so I do a lot of stuff for them. It's really a great gig.
Now, you've had quite a journey. You kicked off your career with Family Ties.
Well, that was one of the first TV shows that I did. I actually need to go back and have my publicist help me as far as filling in my old IMDb from before, because a lot of our work was before IMDb existed. Unless somebody actually sits down and goes through all that, it's all so hard to do, then it's not in there. But I did a lot as a young person. And then I ended up going to New York, which I went there for print. I used to be with an agency out there called Zoli. And then I ended up booking Loving, which is a soap opera. And then from there I ended up in Vegas working on a TV show. And it just went on and on and on and on.
That's the way. That's what makes the world go round, I guess, is you keep climbing the ladder.
We make all these plans on what we're going to do next, but life is what happens in between. And it's always better than the plans that you've made.
That's right. I couldn't have said that no better. I agree totally. Now, you've been chosen as a nationwide finalist for now, I could say this wrong, but it's a modeling search. Is it Walheimer?
Oh, man, you botched that.
Did I botch it? Oh, man, we'll leave it on the editing room floor. Then again, I might just keep it in there.
I guess we just leave it in there because it's so funny. I mean, we do love comedy, right?
Yes, indeed.
But they're one of the biggest agencies in the world, so that's why it's so funny. It's Wilhelmina. And that was several years ago, and so we all went to New York, and it was just a random thing to do. Sometimes I like to do things just because they're random. And I hadn't done print work since I was younger, because it used to be, everybody thought when you're 27 or 30, you kind of got to hang up the towel. And I had started out doing, swimsuit modeling when I was a teenager, and then it just kind of kept blossoming into things. And you get a little older, and you're like, okay, I need to hang up the towel now. There's no work. And then all of a sudden, this whole market started emerging. The whole sophisticated brand, they call it, because they're appealing to people that have money, which are now, the baby boomers and just below the baby boomers. And that's why modeling over the age of 40 has kind of had a new rash, I'll call it. So anyway, I didn't win, but that's okay. I don't win a lot of things. but I have started working since then. So now in between everything else, I'll do print jobs, and it's really kind of fun.
Yes, indeed. Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
it's not winning either. Like, I have an award I'm winning now. Did you see that? Did he show you that?
No, I did not see that. But fill us in. I would love to know about it.
It's so exciting. So it's this film festival where both of these films are, and I have to say it's one of my favorite festivals out there. I've been to film festivals all over the world. And Del Weston just does an amazing job promoting everybody and promoting things that's there. And it's very difficult to get in the first time that you get into a festival. Well, he chose me this year as the Maverick Award winner, so they're going to present that at the awards night. And it's just, I'll actually tell you what exactly that means, because I didn't know. But, he says, I have worked with thousands of actors, models, producers, and directors over the last 2 decades, but I can honestly say that I've never seen a person more prepared, professional, and willing to work than Birdsall. But what's so cool about this is the other people that have won the award. It's a huge award. It's given to, they say it's given to talent that's shown an uncanny ability to weather the storm of working in the sometimes tumultuous world of entertainment. But here's who else has won. Talia Shire, John Savage, Harry Lennox, Michael Madsen, David Carradine, Tom Sizemore, Deborah Kara Unger, and Kim Coates. I mean, that is a fantastic grouping to be in, wouldn't you say?
I would definitely say that.
I know, I'm like so excited. So I just found out about that yesterday.
Really? So, I mean,
Really?
Things have really picked up. Well, I mean, you've seemed pretty busy. I say really picked up. Things are looking good for you with the award and everything else. But, being in like Loving and the family ties and all of that, how have you, I mean, with everything evolves, but, how have you seen the industry change, so to speak, I guess, with the way the economy is and everything else? Has it affected any of your work or anything like that? The way, I mean, things just kind of started going down?
Well, here's what I think. I wouldn't say it is, you know, of course it's had a million effects. The industry is a completely different place than it used to be. But the biggest difference that I see between when I was, you know, a kid, I'll say, or a teenager, and now is that now everybody has access to getting in front of the casting people. And it didn't used to be that way. It used to be very, very hard to get an agent. It took a lot of perseverance and drive and all these things to actually even get signed. And then they were the only people that could submit you in for these jobs. Now everything's digital. So now there's all these casting websites and people can submit themselves to things and you know, there's access for people all over the place. So the competition is very, very stiff. You have to have a lot of drive and perseverance, and you have to have very, very thick skin.
I can imagine. Now, do you have stalkers? Do you have, does paparazzi bother you any? I mean, do they, you know, it
comes and goes. At different times in my life, it comes and goes. So, I mean, there was one point in time where I lived on the beach, and my mom was teasing me because I had put this wall out in front of my house. It was low, and then I had people that were always kind of stalking me and parking at the end of the street and driving me crazy. So I actually had my worker guys make the wall a little bit higher. And then one day it was driving me crazy again because they were just right there on the other side of the wall and just wait for you to come out. So I said to my mom, I said, I think I'm going to make that wall a little higher. And my mom said, Tracey, you need to move off the beach because if you make the wall any higher, you won't be able to see the ocean. Now, I thought that was funny.
That is very funny. That's very,
So I moved off the beach.
Yes, indeed. Now,
yeah,
with everything else going on in your career, with your family, with your mom and everything, how do you keep the balance between your career and your family?
I've always had to. It wasn't ever a choice. You know, most of my adult life I've been a single mom. And so I always had to, you know, I had to find a way to make money. I had to push really hard. I had to, you know, check on my parents. I'm extremely close with my parents. And so you never question whether you can. You just, every morning you wake up and you just know that you're going to. And like even when my oldest daughter was little, I used to sing in clubs on weekends because it was the only way I could make ends meet without getting a regular job with acting and modeling. I mean, it's a very, very hard way to make a living when you're younger. And I used to bring her with me. And she would sit her on a little bar stool, you know, backstage, and she would go with me when she was little. So you just do whatever you can to integrate your kids, you know, and to integrate your parents. And you make it a priority. Your family has to be a priority, but you have to drop anything for work because you're so easily replaceable.
Yes, indeed. Now, you said something pretty interesting there, singing in clubs. Are you a musician? Are you a vocalist?
I'm a vocalist. I've sang my whole life. And as a kid, I joined all kinds of churches and rode my bike from place to place just so I could sing in the churches. And so all different styles. And my favorite was the Baptist church because, I mean, they just really used to, like, kind of get down and dirty when they'd sing, and the whole crowd, you know, everybody that's there was And so that was so much fun. And so when I got older and I needed to make money, I knew that I could sing. And so I started singing blues and country. And I just went to a club, and it was kind of fantastic.
So that was you were did you ever have a steady band, or was it something that you just did kind of on the go?
Well, they had a house band there, so it was like they knew all the stuff that I sang, and it was just nice. It was right down the street from my house, and it was easy, and I like being able to make money and keep focused on what I'm doing, and use all your talents that you can. I mean, you're an instrument. Everything that you are as a human being is an instrument, and you have to use that in life in order to grow and to flourish.
Yeah, definitely. So you're pretty much becoming a go-to girl for commercials. Can you tell me about other than stamps.com? I know we touched on it earlier, but can you tell me about some other commercials that maybe you've been featured in?
Yeah, well, I've always done commercial, and that's really the key to to not having to work another job while you're an actor. And when I was a teenager, it was very uncool to be a commercial actress. Like, you kind of had to hide it and hang your head low if you're in your acting class and everybody's bashing actors that do commercials. So, but they pay really well. So I started out doing Sunkist Soda, and I did a handful of Sunkist Soda commercials over like 10 years. And then as soon as my contract ran out with them, then I jumped ship and went to Diet Pepsi. They're always, waiting. The competitors are always waiting. And, I've done hair products. I've done Maxwell House Coffee. But one of the things that I find that works really well with commercial is you only have one running at a time, or at least one client. So I always, as soon as that runs out, then I'll go on another commercial audition, or I'll make myself available. But I've had the stamps gig for 2 years now, so I haven't done another commercial since then, because you don't want to be out there running around going to commercial auditions. You want to save your time for focusing on film and TV.
Yes, I can see where you're coming from, and probably Stamps.com. They probably pay pretty good. As a matter of fact, they're one of our affiliates. Believe it or not.
Ah.
Yes, indeed.
If you weren't radio, you could throw it in there right now, right?
Yes, indeed. Oh, and we will definitely throw it in there. It'll be Stamps.com all the way on this episode. But I keep going back to the music thing because, I mean, naturally, I'm a musician, and it seems like, I guess anybody in the entertainment industry, all comedians want to be musicians, and all musicians want to be comedians, and it seems like it evolves, and it is easy money. But for some reason, I keep going back there. Now, what era was this in? Was this in, I mean, I know you're California, so was this in like the Whiskey A Go Go type days? Whenever you were, whenever they had like
oh my God, I used to love Whiskey A Go Go. I'm gonna take a little turn right there. I just went to Whiskey A Go Go for the first time like a week and a half ago, since I was like in my early 20s. Oh my God, it's exactly the same.
Really? Now, did you ever get to grace the stage at Whiskey A Go Go?
No. I was out of state. Yeah. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, I was out of state because I moved from here, and I went to Chicago. I used to do a lot of catalog print work and stuff like that. And then I moved back, and then I went to New York. I lived in New York for a few years, and I was doing the soap and doing print work out there. And then I moved back here. And but I always come back here because, to me, California is like the only place that I really feel like I belong. Does that make sense? Like, my people are here. Yeah. So, that's and that was a little hole-in-the-wall club. Actually, it was a piece of the club over time. Yeah. No, not Whiskey A Go Go. That would have been fun, right?
I mean, it would have been. I mean, all I can think about was like you hanging out with like Axl Rose and all the guys that used to Vince Neil. All the good stuff. But,
yeah, I know, right?
But you did the country thing. Now, have you had any desire lately to get back into music?
No, I did a soundtrack for a film that I did in the late 90s. And so actually, if you go online to my website, you'll see a link to some clips. And one of them says, I Might Even Love You. And that's one of the songs that's actually a duet that I did that was off of that soundtrack. So I did it for film because the character was, of course, a singer in a club. And but I haven't really done it since then, except for my kids tease me because I do it every night in the kitchen.
That's cool. Now, you was talking about your website real quick. Why don't we go ahead and you can go ahead and plug your website for our listeners there. That way they can go check your stuff out.
Okay. www.traceybirdsall.com, and that's TraceYBirdSall.
Yes, indeed. And she is not with the Wilhelmina model search. She's not there. She's not with them.
Wilhelmina.
So, yeah.
Wilhelmina.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I work with them, but I didn't win. But I don't know how much the girl who's winning is working. She sure is amazing. She was like, I don't know, maybe 5'11" and was raised in Haiti. Isn't that interesting? So anyway, but we won't spend more time on that.
No, that's fine. It sounds like a political thing.
I don't know.
Haiti.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Let's get off of that subject because we can't take a wrong turn. Now, you could. We've talked about you being a musician. We've talked about some of the things you did as an actress, but you are also a producer.
Yes.
Yes. Now, that yes wasn't very powerful. So, is that something we don't want to talk about, or?
No, I don't mind talking about it all. It's just so funny because it's like you live your life to be an actress, but then you get so drawn in these other directions, and then you have to refocus and go back to being, you know what I mean? But I actually used to have a digital production studio, and I sold that. I don't even have to remember how long ago I sold that. That I'd taken an old cultural arts center up in Port Hueneme, which is just outside the studio zone, and I'd turn it into a production studio, and I had a theater in there with like 700 seats in it that retracted, and I soundproofed the whole thing, and I built screening rooms and editing days and everything. But then I got offered a lot of money just a couple years later to sell it. But I have produced since then, but it's just when you find a project that you really, really, really have to make. And actually, I'm kind of doing that with other people, too. I always help my friends that are making things or take their projects away from them and show them how they could be finished better and stuff like that. It's a way of using your brain. I'm a very, very smart girl to just be an actress, and I love using my brain. So that's kind of a brain thing. I'm very good at organizing and putting pieces together.
That's awesome. My fiance is the same way. She's always using her brain for my stuff, telling me what to do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But it always comes out great, though. I don't argue with her. But
you know what's a really good thing? That your fiance's name isn't Wilhelmina.
Yeah, because that would be. Can you just imagine how much trouble she'd be thinking I'd be calling her the wrong name all the time? I just call her W.
You'd have to call her Wilma.
Yeah, W. That would be. Which sometimes I get backwards on my words and everything else as it is, so I can just imagine the arguments and fights and everything we would have if I called her Wilhelmina or whatever shit is. Anyway, let's get off of that now, and we'll talk about. Let's take a drink, and then we're going to get back to talking to Miss Tracey here. Hang on one second.
Okay.
Mercy. I hope they don't sue me for messing it. Well, they can't.
They can't.
Well, just get in line. Yeah. So now let's talk about Dawn of the Crescent Moon. Now this is a film that you're starring in, correct?
Yeah, I'm one of the leads in it. It's kind of an ensemble cast, and I'll plug it right now. We're actually up for best cast in a feature at the film festival too, which is pretty exciting.
All right.
Anyway.
Now, in the cast, now who is there any notable actors or actresses that are co-starring with you?
Yes, actually, I worked almost all of my scenes. I worked opposite Billy Corbin, and he's on 3 primetime network shows now. So Barry's an awesome guy, and I got to know him really well, and we hang out a lot now. So he's a very, very good friend. But what an awesome thing to work opposite him. And then Johnny Walter's pretty well known. He's a young actor. I'm not exactly sure what he's in, but people seem to know him really well. And then Brandon Smith, of course, No Country for Old Men. He was in it also. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Well, let's move on. And, at any point in time, you could plead the fifth because this has struck everybody's attention here at the studio. It got my attention for damn sure. And that is,
I know what you're going to say.
do you like your balls? Now, honestly, that would be something probably my fiance would say if I called her Wilhelmina.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you said it right that time.
Yeah, well, then, because I like my balls.
And that's not her name, though.
No, thank God. But for some reason, I've sat here and commit tonight when I get home, I'm probably going to call her Wilhelmina, and she's probably going to slap the hell out of me.
That is so funny.
And I will.
Hopefully you'll say it at the right moment.
Yeah, I will let you know how that turns out.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Now about this film. Now, this is the quirky comedy you were talking about.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's one of those things that's like I was involved in the editing process and stuff too, to kind of help these guys get this finished. It's one of the funniest things that I've ever seen. I mean, it's all comedians. All the actors in there are comedians. I think I was the only one in the cast to have to go through the audition process because they all knew each other. They're all like working comedians, and they were just so funny. And sometimes I can't even figure out what's going on in this film, but I'm always laughing. It's like I don't know. It's really good.
Now, is there a trailer available? Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do want to see Dawn of the Crescent Moon, too, but like I said, I guess the man side of me, I just want to see that Do You Like Your Balls, just to see what, and I'm sure the listeners out there would really want to see it, too.
If you give me your email address, I'll send you a link to at least a clip out of it. I have to get permission to send the whole thing.
That's all I want is just a clip.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't seen a clip, because you could have been sent one before. Yeah, it's because then you'd have a lot to talk about.
Well, they may have sent a clip, but I mean, being that we've been so unorganized here the last couple of weeks with everything that's going on, this thing's totally like blowed up on us, and I'm having to actually get a staff in here to help me, and it's pretty cool. And you were talking about kind of I jump around a lot, but I guess take a different direction. You were talking about digital studios and everything. Bo Duke, John Snyder. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not. He played in the Dukes of Hazzards. And
Yeah.
about a mile here, I'm in South Louisiana, and about a mile from our studio, he has a big digital studio and where he's doing movies and everything else now out here.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I have a friend that's out there. She's doing one of these new shows that's on it. It's called, is it Salem? I think it's Salem. She's producing that, and she's out in Louisiana. You might want to talk to her.
Yeah, Salem, huh?
Well, hang on. I'll look it up while we're chatting. But yeah, she's actually out there right now.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not. This interview is all about you, by the way. I'm not trying to get none of your friends' phone numbers or anything. It's kind of like it's almost like an awkward dinner, where it's like I'm taking you to dinner and trying to get your friend's number.
Right. That would be okay, though.
It would be okay.
I would let somebody do that. Sometimes, I get asked out a lot online, right? It's really funny. I'm not on any website, but on Facebook, I have a lot of friends that'll kind of like send me messages, and I think it's funny, right? And they'll ask me out. And so what's so funny is that I have another really good friend who's friends with the same people. And it's so funny because we'll compare notes, because they'll ask me out, and then sometimes like 2 days later they'll ask her out. And so we just think it's so funny.
What is your now? I mean, we're getting off a little bit here, but I mean, what the hell? Now, what is your thoughts on a man or a friend sending you a message via Facebook to ask you out on a date? Because, I mean, in my day...
Well, they're people I already know.
Well, I understand that. So, I mean...
But it's like it is an odd thing, isn't it?
It is, but like, in my day, you wrote a note, like high school, you write a note checking that yes or no or whatever, and then, now with the social media world, like, you don't even have to, there's no nerves or anything. It takes the prestige out of asking somebody on a date, you know? It's like, I sent her a message on Facebook. You know, you never hear.
It's a really sick and shit way, isn't it?
It is, and you never hear the story anymore. Like, I asked her out like 20 times, and she finally said yes. You know, I had to aggravate her. Well, nowadays they stalking charges only for that, but
after a while, sometimes you want to unfriend them too because they just keep trying. Like, you say no, and then a week later they try again, and and it's like, really? It's like, you know, it's actually kind of annoying. And one thing that guys don't know, so I'm going to give you a radio tip out there to all men that are listening. One thing that guys don't know is girls talk about this. Like, we compare and we laugh at them. And that's not how guys want to be seen. You know, it's like what we do as girls. We can't help it.
I can just imagine. You know, and, you know, me and my fiance are very close. So a lot of times we'll sit on the couch.
Well, Amina.
Yeah, that's it. And, you know, her sister goes through the same thing. So she'll come over and she'll start telling me, you know, telling my fiance all about her, you know, her experiences. You know, she's on eHarmony or whatever the hell it is, you know, or Fling Tonight, or I don't know, one of those. It's like $30 a month to get guys to look at you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and she'll come in and she'll tell us about her experiences and everything, and it's hilarious. And then, like, you know, some of my friends I found out were on this thing, you know, like, these are macho guys that you would think to be walking around, you know, they could probably pick up any lady they would like to date or go out with, and they're on these websites.
And I know. I have friends that are too, and I have friends that are like famous friends that are on those websites. And I'm like, why are you on? I mean, because there's already so many options out there. Why would you be looking for more options?
Exactly. Why would you want to be on? I mean, somebody gets a hold. I mean, I can just imagine somebody getting a hold of that, or the wrong person getting a hold of it and kind of exploiting somebody over it, you know. But I mean, I can just imagine. I mean, what is it? Zooks.com. Getting on there and there's Charlie Sheen, or, you know. Well, I mean, Charlie, that wouldn't surprise me. He probably has a partnership with him.
Well, actually, Charlie's engaged again, because I was talking about Barry Corbin early on in the conversation, and I actually went to the set with Barry and met Charlie and all them, and he's actually engaged again.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, she used to be a porn star, but she's beautiful.
Wow. Her name wouldn't have to be Sadie Katz, would it?
Wouldn't be what?
Would it be Sadie Katz?
No, I can't remember what her name is.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I had a guest a couple of weeks ago by the name of Sadie Katz, and she was, you know,
that's not it.
She sent some pictures via email, you know, because we were talking back and forth and everything. And a couple of pictures she sent was she had a couple with Charlie, which was back in the day, I guess. Mm-hmm. We'll just say that for the sake of Charlie. He probably ain't listening, but if he is, sorry, Charlie.
No, it was just a couple of months ago. Yeah, it was just a couple of months ago.
So, with everything that's going on and all the things that in your journey and all the things that's been happening with you, do you have any advice for any inspiring young actresses that maybe want to follow in your footsteps?
Well, you know, we all make goals, and goals are very, very important to have a goal and to move forward. But the really exciting things, the opportunities that you get, are what happens along the way. So some people are so bent on getting to this, you know, doing this job or that job or working opposite this actor, but it's more exciting what happens just when you're moving forward. And I would say that the best piece of advice I've ever been given, and I've passed it along before, is actually from a very, very, very good friend of mine, and he's a casting director. And he said to me, do something every day. And I went, because I was doing something like a few days a week, I was working this, doing that, and then I'd go play, right? And he's like, I want to see your career move faster, so do something every day. And so I tried it for about a month. And I did something every day. I worked on something every day. And it was really interesting how I could exponentially see the difference in how fast things are moving. Because everybody thinks they're doing enough, and you're not. If you're not working, acting's still your full-time job. If you're not working, you still have to put out the same amount of effort. And you wouldn't believe how many actors are either complaining about it and I think that, you know, training and everything is really important, but it's like, you got to train with the best people. You can't people are like, oh, but I'm in classes 2 days a week or whatever. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to, respect what they've taught you. So do something every day.
I can agree with that. And
yeah, and never, I have one more. The other really great piece of advice I have is treat your auditions like their work. Because that is your work as an actress, is to go out and do these auditions, and then you go out and do the job. But if you treat the audition like it's work, then two things happen. One is you do a really kick-ass job on your audition because you prepared for it like it was, work. Unless, of course, you're too busy to get off book or whatever. But if you're not doing anything else, I don't see why people don't prepare for them like their work. And the other thing is if you don't book it, you've still got the experience of giving it all of that effort and getting that in touch with who that character was and living that life. And so then if you go home and you didn't book it because you were the wrong size or the wrong type or the wrong age or whatever it might be, you still have that experience, and so you don't feel rejected. So that's a fantastic piece of advice, to treat your audition like it's work.
yes, indeed. Now, you seem like a very positive person, and in your industry and your position, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of negativity. How do you stay up? How do you stay positive?
I drink 2 glasses of wine at night. I think first of all, I think I was pretty much born that way, but then of course life kind of takes its knocks at you, and I think you have to like really respect yourself. You have to look in the mirror every day, and you have to like what you see. So in all your actions and everything that you do, you have to like yourself. You have to feel good about yourself, because the world's going to knock at you anyway, and you have to be able to stay up. And I think being able to see the ocean at the end of the day, like I drive into LA and stuff, but I live in Malibu, and there's just something very calming about no matter how hard you work, you look out there and that ocean just has this calming effect on me. You know what I mean? And I work out at the gym almost every single day. And if I don't get to work out, I get a little crabby, I can get a little bummed out, but as long as I work out, I feel fantastic.
That's awesome. I work out a little bit too, but we're not going to get into that. That's
How much is a little bit?
It used to be, at one time, don't laugh, but I was a professional wrestler, so.
All right. My dad used to wrestle.
Really?
Like the Navy or something like that, Army.
Now, this is professional wrestling.
Oh.
Yeah. That's real wrestling you're talking about. But the only thing I can do is fake-ass bitch slap somebody, Your daddy probably was a shooter. But, yeah, so at one time it was every day, and then naturally, I slowed down. I started getting attention and stopped working out, which was, kind of, I guess an ego thing. But I've tried my hand at different things. No big deal. Anyway.
Back. Keeps you young now.
What's that?
That's what it keeps you young now.
It
Everybody's
does.
like, I'm too tired to work out. I'm too this and too that. I'm getting older. Da, da, da. I'm like, yeah, but you'll feel better and you'll be younger if you work out, It keeps the metabolism. It keeps your mind healthy as well. I probably go now about 3 days a week. Sometimes 2. Oh, that's really good.
It's according, But, I mean, it's a way, that's one way, I guess, for me to release, as a young man. But either way.
Yeah. I also work out because I love mac and cheese, and I love fatty foods. So it's kind of a trade-off. It's like if I'm going to eat where I want to eat and still, have a competitive edge on a fitness level, then I have to work out like that. I lift heavy weights. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I tan a lot to hide the fat. If I eat a lot of mac and cheese or, especially down here, Southeast Louisiana, you have a lot of cuisines or a lot of good treats to choose from, a lot of fried foods. So, I do indulge, and sometimes we'll make a spectacle of myself at a buffet, but,
When I was in Mississippi, and I think I was like 20, I was there for about a week, and boy, did I get hooked on grits.
Grits?
I still, to this day, make grits in like a big pot, and the kids don't understand why their friends don't know what grits are. Like, if they come over, they're like, what are you eating? I go, grits. But anyway,
Really?
That's
They don't know what grits are?
Nobody knows what grits are. They have no idea. They're looking at it. They're like, is that couscous? Like, what is it? Nobody has a clue. It's not something that people eat up here, but I do, and I just think it's really funny. But,
Yeah. So what part of Mississippi was you in?
oh gosh, I don't really remember. I was near the shore. That's all I remember.
Bay St. Louis?
Yeah, I just don't remember. It was too long ago. Yeah,
Oh,
too
come
long
on.
ago. We were doing a calendar shoot or something, and it was like, I just can't remember what it was.
You was in Biloxi?
Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah, I bet you. I will put my check on it. But you were in Biloxi. My check.
Yeah, I don't remember. Sorry about that.
Oh, no
Yeah.
problem. Shout out to the
But
people
hey,
in
I
Biloxi.
still eat grits, so that counts, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you talk about grits. I mean, my most favorite food in the world, or my favorite dinner is fried catfish, grits, and collard greens.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they turn their nose up at that, too. Well, not down here, because, we're soul food heaven pretty much. But
I like culture, so I like when things are done differently in different places. I've been as far as Haiti, and I've been to the North Pole, and I've been to, all over Europe and everything. And I like culture. I like it how people do things differently in different areas. I don't think anybody should ever make fun of anybody.
Well, no, and it's very interesting as well to see. That's like when you said, you never think about that. You take it for granted, and you also think, like you just said a few minutes ago, like people coming to your house and you're like, what are you eating? And you're like, grits. And down here, grits, it's grits. That's every day.
It's like a staple.
Right.
Right.
You
I know. It's weird.
You can't go a day or a week without eating a couple bowls of grits.
Right. Well, when I was down there, I just remember there was this much older lady that had made them and brought them over to where we were staying and wanted us to try them. And I was like, there was no way I was going to try them. And then she kind of forced me. She was very, it was very important to her that I try them. And so just in order that I didn't offend her, I tried them, and I just couldn't believe how good it was.
Yes, indeed. They are very forceful with you trying to get you to eat around here. That is true.
People usually can't force me into things, and she was very, very, she was very important to her. Yeah, she didn't give up.
Yeah, the women here don't give up. If they want something, they damn sure make sure they get it, or you will pay. If you wouldn't have ate them grits, she'd have still put them on your plate.
She wasn't going to stop trying, I could tell, yeah. But I was so thankful that she didn't, so. But you're right, she's very aggressive.
Now, before I let you go and let you get back to your busy day, this past week, and, we don't have to discuss it. We can, we can't. It's up to you, but we lost Mr. Robin Williams. Do you have any memories of funny man, comedian Robin Williams?
Well, it's like we grew up watching Robin, and I think what was really, what hit me personally was the fact that I never paid attention to the fact that he dealt with depression. Now that I've looked at it, and I see that and addictions, I realize that. But he was just the happiest, funniest, kindest human being, and to have that happen, and have it happen in the way that it did, and where he didn't even leave a note, that just shows how far gone he was, and it just makes you think about the people in your life that have dealt with that. And I've had somebody in my life who dealt with that in the past, and it just shows you how dire it is, and it just makes you want to hug everybody in your family and your friends and let everybody know that they're loved. Because if somebody is amazing with that amazing life could do that, you just feel like there's no sure bets in life,
Yes, indeed. Well, Miss Tracey, I have enjoyed the past half hour talking with you about your adventures and sharing laughs. And I wish you the best in all of your future endeavors. And I look forward to talking to you in the next few months about future projects. And with that said, plug that website one more time for the Party Animal Nation out there, if you don't mind.
Okay. www.TraceyBirdsall.com, and that's TraceyBirdsall.
All right, and if you ever get down here to South Louisiana, you look us up. We'll bring you to the studio and hook you up with some grits.
Oh, my God.
Whoa, had your number. You're 15 seconds.
Worldwide, uncut, unfiltered, and uncensored. It's the Radio Random Network.
Now you're on the scene.